You don't need the link. You're sitting live. What do you need the link for? You don't need links. You're sitting right here. What do you need links for? Okay.
People are on their phones anyways, Rabbi.
I don't have to introduce Rabbi Raskin, no? We all know him, huh? Nah, it's okay.
All the way from
People watching. Yeah. No, we delayed
ברוך השם גדול אלוהים מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
אמן.
חיים. מה חבדולו זה מה ששאר לכם אבל זה לא חיים בדברו. First of all, Poischim Birchis, good morning to each and every one. And I Yashakir Godel to Rav Shochat to give me the schus to speak about the Inyonim. A couple years ago we did it before Yud Nissen, and to share with us different Inyonim when they get to Yud Shvat. So L'choil Rosh is the famous Inyan that Yud Shvat is the Bosi Legani. That's L'choil Rosh. And the first Bosi Legani Tovshi Yud Aleph that the Olam every year learns, even though that there is the Kvius, as this year you all know, that as the Frierdiker Rebbe has 10 paragraphs of Yud Shvat Maimer that he gave out, he asked the Rebbe to prepare it 2 days before the Istalkus. And he prepared the Maimer with 10 paragraphs, the first 5 for Yud Shabbos Yud Shvat, the Yotzat of the Rebbe and Rivke Baba, Rivke Yadu, the Hayom Yoyim. You notice the Hayom Yoyim of Yud Shvat is talking about that the Rebbe and Rivke, she used to fast, because she wasn't well, she needed to eat, so she didn't want to eat before davening, so she got up early and she davened, and then she ate. And the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek found out about this. The Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek told her, besser essen, zu davenen, wie davenen, zu leben essen. It's a whole sicha from the Rebbe, Yud Shvat, Tovshin Yutes. The Rebbe explaining this. What does that mean? Essen, zu leben davenen, davenen, zu leben essen. A whole beer, a moyo de kebir. A morgen werden bei dir in Stub, wird man verbrachtet. Bei der Eltern in Stub. Wir haben mit Amol gerät, nicht bei der Seele, bei Rabbi. Ich hatte das sicher. Kedai to listen to that sicher. The Rebbe explains, what does that mean? So Rebbe Tzerivke was benched by the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek for Arichus Yom. She lived alone. Passed away, Tofrish Ayin Dalet. So this is the Inyan. That's the first 5 came out. And then the next 5, it's also in the same countries. It came out for the Yotzeit of the Rebbe's, Frierdiker Rebbe's mother, Rebbe Tzimshtan Sora, which is Yud Gimel Shvat. And then the Rebbe prepared the next 5 for Purim, the next 5 for Beis Nissi, the Yotz of the Rebbe Rashab. But what's very, very interesting that I don't know if you know this, it's kedai to know, this Maimer, the Frierdiker Rebbe said, Tov Reish Pei Gimel, 102 years ago. And the Rebbe was by the Maimer. The Rebbe was by the Maimer. And he said it, Shabbos Pashas Boy, he started with the Pasuk Vayi Be'etzerem Hayoyim Hazeh. And after a few minutes, the Frierdiker Rebbe goes into Basel Legani, and there is 20 paragraphs. And when the Frierdiker Rebbe told the Rebbe to prepare that Maimer, so the Rebbe chosen this Maimer, so he took up the beginning, the Vayi Be'etzem, he started with the Basel Legani. It's not Appella, it's also Shgocha Pratis. Yes, showing that was the first time, I don't know, ask the Choykerim, the Philosophim, that was one of the first, the first time that the Rebbe was by the Frierdiker Rebbe, I don't think so. It's very interesting that Tov Shimon Vov, Shabbos before Yud Shvat, Yud Shvat was Monday, Shabbos before Yud Shvat, the Rebbe said the Maimer and Vayi Be'etzem, and he goes into Basel Legani like the Frierdiker Rebbe did. 2 years later, 2 years later, Tov Shimon Ches, Shabbos boy before Yud Shvat, Dalet Shvat, the Rebbe did the opposite. Started Basel Legani and he went into Vayi Be'etzem. You want to know short Maimorim? I tell the Bachim you have to learn a Maimer about Pelech of Yud Shvat. So all the Basel Leganis are long ones, and Mugidike, long and long. And Tifer said this is a too short Basel Leganis that there is. If you want to learn a Maimer, learning a Maimer, Chazan a Maimer about Pelech, come to the Rebbe, you have to come to the Rebbe with a present, a Maimer. So back to our Indian. So this year, you all know, you're learning it. And we had tief in the Maimer, 15 paragraph, Oistas Vov, with the Maimer of the Rebbe, the first time on the Tov Shin Chafei, the second time Tov Shin Memhi. So that's the general lineage. But every year there's a Maimer Basel Legani and every other paragraph. It's probably you know this, but it's kedai to mention that when the Rebbe came out with the Kuntres before Yud Shvat, so these, I saw it, my father had the first, he came to the Rebbe, so Tavshin Gimel, he still had the Kuntres that was printed, Tavshin Yud. And there is the Zikne Achsidim and those that collect, and so it was written, Al Pi Pekudas, according to the Pekudas, the command of Chakmu, follow the Rebbe, to give up this Maimer, and was written Shlita. When it came out in print, Erev Shabbos, the letter Yud disappeared. Shin Lamed Tes Aleph, the word Yomim. And Shabbos morning, Shabbos Bo Yud Shvat was the Istalkus. So what I'm saying that the Iki Yud Shvat is Basel Legani. But the MSCs, there's more other in Yonim, which I want to share with you, Kamo in Yonim that was Reiche to be there, and in Yonim clothes from different years, that it's very important to know. And also, as is very important, and I'm for sure some do it, and some thinking to do, they want to know what. We are a week, mamish a week, less than a week before Yud Shvat. It is very important, as all the achonis that we do, with ourselves, with our families, with others, in different things. According to my humble opinion, we have to take one Fabrengen from the Rebbe, from Tovshin Yud Aleph to Tovshin Nun Beis, one Fabrengen that there is in recording and hear it. People in the light are traveling, you sit in the car, you're walking, you have one Fabrengen to take and to listen to. And I would suggest different years. There is, first of all, the Kvius of this year is a very interesting Kvius. If you remember, last year was also like this, was Shabbos. The difference is, last year was Shabbos Boy, and this year is Shabbos B'Shabbat. The Istalkus of the Frierdiker Rebbe was Shabbos Boy. And the Rebbe actually speaks many times Shabbos Boy, even though it's not Yud Shvat, but the Rebbe says this is connected to the Ilula of the Rebbe, the Shver, from the Frierdiker Rebbe, because he was Nistalik on Shabbos Boy. So even though it's not Yud Shvat, automatically Shabbos Boy is connected to the Frierdiker Rebbe because on that Shabbos was the Nistalik. So so we have the quiz. Very interesting. The first time from Tovshin Yud that Yud Shvat was on Shabbos was Tovshin Yud Zayin. And very interesting that the Rebbe did not verbring on Shabbos. I don't know why the Rebbe didn't verbring on Shabbos, but the Rebbe verbring Motzei Shabbos. And there is the Mimer. So the Mimer is based on Ois Zayin, but it's a very geschmack Mimer to listen to. And there is doing the verbring and there's different inyanim. And the Rebbe, there is, if you ever paid attention to Nigunim Svadus, there's Nigunim that the Rebbe starts over there. In this verbring, you have Kama Nigunim. The Rebbe said that we want to have the Mazar B'chaim, Afru B'chaim. Through that we're going to ask Zaroi B'chaim that they should say L'chaim, and they should sing a Nigun, a Lebedik Nigun, and the Rebbe is Madgish, Dafke a Lebedik Nigun, and that will show that the Zaroi B'chaim. And he gets quiet. And suddenly you hear, answer, tutzech, mitans, says Lebedik, for a long time. And the Rebbe said that he wants different people you should know about for those verbringers, Yud Shvat. So first of all, the first country that came, besides Eretz Yisrael, the first country that came to the Rebbe for Yud Shvat was Montreal. That was known that Montreal, Yud Shvat came to the Rebbe, buses and buses.
What year was it? From Dallas?
No. In the youth, in the later years was, and then it became that before the matzo bakery, it became that the bake matzahs already. Then he used to stay for a few days and he used to bring matzahs. So give a Lebedik. I'm all ahead from Pliny and Pliny. He said that Yud Shvat is a Montreal Yom Tov. Okay, say that.
So the recording of the Baal Shem Tov saying it?
Habe ich gewollt sagen, sein Name, Het is niet gesagt, Chiyuv, die Tanya, dass she's the Der Ashishinike. So, yeah, the problem. It's fine. Say it. You should know that there's a few Chassidim, they were sitting in a car and they were driving together from Montreal to New York in the early years, and they said, are we going to the oil? So they said to each other, we come to the Rebbe, so the Rebbe's going to see us. We're not going to the oil. I was going back and forth. And they got a roll from the Rebbe. I don't think it was Yud Shvat, it was another time. We got a roll from the Rebbe, they have to go to the oil. Don't probably, it's upon him. Me learned to go into the shoes, the guys talking was Rabbi Gringlas, talking about. So I want to, so very interesting. So Montreal was there, and the Rebbe was mechabed. The Anna, especially the kids. The kids used to be the Rebbe used to tell them to sing, and it was and they were very. I say there's a word in English. I learned it in the time. Clever, yeah. Clever, yes. They are very smart to know when the Rebbe tells them to sing the nigun that the Rebbe taught that year. Simchas Torah. So the Mashal Tovshin Chai. It's also a verbringens kedai to hear. Yud Shvat was Friday. So besides the Maimon, we were Friday and Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, Yudal of Shvat. This is an unbelievable verbringen. The Rebbe starts the verbringen in very loud tone and very, very zeyer besimcha. The Rebbe is talking very loud, and then the Rebbe tells the children to sing a nigun. So what nigun the Rebbe taught Simchas Torah Tovshin Chai? So you hear the kinder singing this nigun. The Rebbe taught him to sing, so they know they sing this nigun. And afterwards, he gets quiet, and suddenly you hear the Rebbe sing it. Very, very, very geschmack. And then the Rebbe is explaining that nigun like it was Simchas Torah. The Rebbe explains Simchas Torah. The Rebbe is explaining the God's doing Marco, the Yitzhahara, and very, very geschmack. So it's Kedai. That's one of the verbringens that recommended to listen to the verbringen of Motzei Shabbos B'Shalach Yidal Shvat Tovshin Chai. Back to Tovshin Yud Zayin. So the Rebbe said that he has new customers that came in Zarba Chaim. Yeshivas from Newark and Toronto. That means Montreal came much more before. And he told them they should say L'chaim. After that, the Rebbe is addressing a question. Since, that was the first time since Tafshin Yud, that the Yud Shvat is on Shabbos. Since the Yud Shvat is on Shabbos, which is negated to us this year, so what is, there's a different story. The Rebbe brings that there is those that fast, the Yom HaYod Shvat. There is different things that you do, and Shabbos, you cannot do them, including riding a pan, giving tzedakah, going to the oil. So when do you go? Do you go Friday or do you go Sunday? The Rebbe goes through, the Rebbe is questioning back and forth. There is those that say that you're not makdim, and those that say that you're not me'acher. So the Rebbe says that the poel, he was soymech on the day to do it before Shabbos. The Rebbe says on himself that he went to the oil on Friday. The Rebbe went to that on Friday, Erev Shabbos, which is Teshvat. That was B'Shalach. Tavshi Yud was B'Shalach. Tavshi Yud, yeah, it was B'Shalach. Like this year, yeah. And the Chlolus in the years, I don't, you ever, the early years, how did the Rebbe go to the oil? You ever read, you ever heard? How did the Rebbe go to the early years? Imagine, the Lubavitcher Rebbe did not have a car. Yeah, the Rebbe toch nicht gedriven. The Rebbe did not have a car. Later years, Rabbi Krinsky got a car, Rabbi Klein got a car. So it was a seder when Rabbi Klein took the Rebbe, when Rabbi Krinsky took the Rebbe at home, and the oil was always Rabbi Krinsky. Yeah, besides when he wasn't there, all he had to do was charge the court case, with the mishpat. How did the Rebbe go to the oil? There was a bus that was taking Anash, and we're talking, this is Tafshin Yud, Tafshin Aleph, and the first row, the first two seats was for the Rebbe and the Rasha. Imagine? Yeah. The Rebbe sitting on a bus. It's beyond my understanding, it's beyond, I don't know.
How many years? Don't give him a ride.
In the early youths. How many years? I don't know. When did it start?
Don't give him a ride.
I don't know. Ich weiß nicht, if they got cars, but it was.
They had Uber, no?
Yeah, Uber. Uber was in Schadish and the Shalom Uber. Akapanim. So that was Yud Shvat, and later the Rebbe stopped going on Yud Shvat because the big Farbrengen was Yud Shvat. So the Rebbe started to go Yud Aleph Shvat. As we mentioned in Yud Aleph Shvat, it is very important to be madgish the union that Chassidim always spoke about it. Begolui, v'sheloi begolui, that Yud Aleph Shvat, this is the day that the Rebbe was Mekabel the Nisis. Was late the night of Yud Aleph Shvat, correct? The night of the 11th day of the 11th month, Ashte Osa Chodesh, close to 11 o'clock. It was 10:35, 10:40. That was closer to 11 o'clock. The Rebbe said, "The Maimon was Legani." The Rebbe's Shalei Berabim. The Rebbe's Mekabel Nisis, as we know, was Yichidusin and Moifsin, all in Yonim. But the union of a Rebbe is a minor that started that night, the night of Yud Aleph. And in the year of Tafshi Yud Aleph, everything with Yud Aleph. What I'm saying this, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. The morning, when the Rebbe came in the morning, as we know, the Rebbe almost suit. The suit took, and the Rebbe changed the stationery. The stationery till then was the name of the Rebbe. The Rebbe changed it to put his name. Till then was not Begoli. It's also important to mention, this is
this is the morning before the Farbrengen?
The morning after.
Yeah.
Yud Aleph in the morning. And it's important to mention this. This is Kovei Abrocha Le'atzmoi, because as we know,
The Shittuk was also the next morning.
I thought it was in Tishrei.
So the Farbrengen, you don't.
the Rebbe came into the Farbrengen to Sotuk, dachte. Yeah, the Farbrengen always the Rebbe came to Sotuk. In my days, how do we know there's a Farbrengen? When the Rebbe came out to Mincha Ma'ariv after the oil with Zeitens. he went to the oil with Zidens. When the Rebbe used to go in after washing his hands, he used to go into his room. And he used to change it. But if he didn't change, we knew he was going to the Fabrein. Because to Fabrein, the Rebbe came always with Zidens.
How do you know the difference in Zidens and the rest?
You could see.
What shiny and what is
Sure.
It's very clear.
It's very clear. It's very clear. And the Rebbe stopped that Erev Kippur Tov Shinun. Erev Kippur Tov Shinun, the Rebbe with Zidens and Rebbe took her off. That's it. That's also the year, Agav, that the Rebbe started to wear his new shoes. Yeah? And there's a whole thing from the Rebbe's father, the guy benegate to the Indian. We're not going to this now. I want to say, Dovo Kovei Brocha La'atzmei, Ubehakdoma, that after 1 year after Yud Shvat, the Istalkus of the Rebbetzin, so the Rebbe, I don't know if it was the year of the Istalkus or the following year, the Rebbe said that Yud Shvat is a Chodesh was verbunden mit Mishpachas Beis Rebbe, mit Mishpachas Shnees. The Rebbe went through Yud Shvat, the Rebbetzin Rivke, the Friedike Rebbe, Yud Gimel Shvat, the Rebbetzin Shtanisor, and Yud Shvat, the Rebbetzin. The Rebbe said it's negeya to the Rebbe to Mishpachah. So it's important to know, it's important to be madgish that the whole year the Rebbe was refusing. Chassidim were asking and crying and begging the Rebbe. Who was the punchline? Who was the Makave Patish? It was the Rebbetzin. You have to say this. The Rebbetzin told the Rebbe, if you're not taking it, so the whole Abed from Taten would gain Avos. Avos had the Taten get hold of it. So she was the one that got the Rebbe to become a Rebbe b'Toy Mamish. This is Begolui. Shalei Begolui. The Ribui Maisus, even before the Nisis, as you know, it was mentioned, Rabbi Lu mentioned that Tavshin Zayin, what did the Rebbe speak about going to the Rebbe, talking to the Rebbe? This Kashrus and it was Moifsim, as you know, Tavshin Zayin, the Rebbe made Moifsim in Paris. About Kapanim. So this is back to Shvat Tov Zayin. This is one of the kvisen, and the Rebbe put on the table exactly what we should do b'negeya to the minhagim, and there is before I continue with the different years. So the next time Yud Shvat was Shabbos. Was Tov Shin Chav Zayin. Interesting. 10 years later. What 11 o'clock?
Why the 11th?
Oh. Thank you. I mentioned Yud Shvat. So, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So, it's very, very interesting that Chassidim always spoke about it. I read from my father, all the Chassidim, they used to speaking quietly that this is 11, this is Yidalef, Yidalef Nissen, Antu Chad V'lo B'chushban. The Rebbe put it on the table, Bekolui, Yud Shvat Tov Shinun Beis. Yud Shvat Tov Shinun Beis. So it was Sunday night, and Monday night. There was two long siches, and the Rebbe spoke by Arichus about the union of Chod Beis. The letter Chod Beis is divided in two, twice 11. And the Rebbe started to talk about Yud Shvat, that there was a Tkufa of Yud Shvat, till to Friedike Rebbe, then it Tkufa Yidalef Shvat, started a new era, talking about himself. And the Rebbe said, and then is the new Tkufa that's going to be, Mashiach will come. And this all the Rebbe spoke in that sikha, which by the way, that sikha was very, very emotional. Most of the time, the Rebbe had closed eyes, it was with tears, the Rebbe spoke, Mocha Vaylekim Dima Makopanim. So this is the union of Yidalef. I want to mention, but I'm going back to Kvius and the Tov Shin Chav Zayin. So by Tov Shin Chav Zayin, the Rebbe did verbring on Shabbos, and then the Rebbe verbring Motzei Shabbos. Big Fabring Motzei Shabbos. And the Rebbe spoke a very geschmack Indian when he get to the Havdalah. And the Eish, Beri Mereo Eish, the Rebbe's Makasha this with Beshalach and Motze Beshalach we're going to Israel. But a whole entire, and then the Rebbe spoke about the Rebbe, Moshe, Rei Nemon. This is all in Yonim that has to do in the Parshas of from Shmoi Sanan, talks about the Inner Rebbe. Till we come into Yisrael, Matan Torah, which was through Moshe. And then there is the Maimer, something very geschmack with the Maimer. I was listening to the Maimer, the Basel Legani. So b'derech klal, the Rebbe says, Basel Legani achisi kalo, yeah? But that time, you hear it, it's a recording, you hear it. The Rebbe says, Basel Legani achisi chalo. Because that's the way it's written in Shir HaShirim, it's written chalo. And the Rebbe speaks different in Yonim. And the Rebbe quotes, this is something the Rebbe speaks about. You know that the Frierdiker Rebbe in one of the Oisiyos speaks about Sobo, yeah? We just came from Parshas Boy. The first time the Yidna being called Tzivus Hashem was the Chitas of Friday. It's Sivay Seichem. A few times it's mentioned Tzvokes, that the Yidna called Sobo, army. The Frierdiker Rebbe brings that Sobo has three Pirushim. Sobo Miloshen army, Sobo Miloshen Zaman, and Sobo Miloshen beauty, Tzivyoin. So the Rebbe says, when you get to army, this is in of Kabbalah soil. The Rebbe says, very geschmack. You do the Pisgam, Ayi, is a Kabbalah soilnik. You hear it, you have to hear it, and gives us the koyach to do our avodah. The next time there was Shabbos, and there was Shabbos boy, is the famous year of Esrim Shana. Vayib Esrim Shana. Then the Rebbe surprised a week before that, the Rebbe said to conclude Mashiach Sefer Torah. The whole world came down, Kipshutai, from all over. It was, and the Fabringen of Simach No Sefer Torah, Mashiach Sefer Torah was Friday. It's a recording of the whole, the Rebbe said the minor then, the minor loving Sefer Torah, that was Magid the minor later. But the Anhogas, the Rebbe giving out the Psuki from Atareso, the Hagba and Lila. The Rebbe gave out the Lila to the any Gukov here. Anyone related to the great grandfather, the Meir Gukov. He got Lila. And the Rebbe took the Kesser for himself. Famous, the Rebbe put the Kesser, and everyone standing around. And then later the Rebbe took this Sefer Torah, brought it to the On Kodesh. Chassidim then expected these galus from the Rebbe. And the Rebbe said then, it's Esrim Shana, so it's starting to say them. I want to share with you a ma'aser with my father. We'll make it bekitzer. As you know, that the Shluchim are not allowed to come from Morocco and France, Europe, only once in 2 years. You know what that means? Today, once in 2 years, there's no such a thing. Today, every other day, this one, that. Observation, Peter Ben. He had in Indian. You heard this many times, but it's, after Tate Zavek, so we find in his letters, we found a letter that he wrote to the Rebbe, take over the Gzeir for me. I can't take this. How can I do this? And he asked the Rebbe, nothing. There was even once that he wrote, and to Chadok said, there's nothing, it's not changing. And the Rebbe told him he'll give him answers to all the maskim. He got different answers to different maskim. But, so, the point Mamish, fast forward, so we went to Shinchov, 65 years. I have to mention my mother, the Yom Shalom Tevis. She is there for the last 20 years and a half. She's alone, and not alone, the Rebbe, the Eibishter, and 65 years, the Yom Shalom Tevis. I got on him. Yeah, L'chaim. My father's turn to come next time to the Rebbe was Tov Shalom Aleph. When he heard Mashiach Sefer Torah, he didn't ask any questions. He came and then he wrote a zettel to the Rebbe. He had in Chidus by the Rebbe, and he wrote a zettel to the Rebbe. Different things that he wrote. One of the things he wrote that is asking the Rebbe that this should not interfere with Tishrei Tov Shalom Aleph. And very interesting. was 10 years I was in Morocco. Tashrav Tav Shalom writes to the Rebbe that he feels he's missing a Hergesh and Avodas Hashem. So the Rebbe told him, first of all, you do have the Hergesh and Avodas Hashem, and that wood that you came now is not Bob Cheshbon. This is a separate thing, Lagamre. And there's a whole Yechidus written. Some of them was printed in a tshuva. Lahoy that Simchas Torah Tov Shalom and Aleph, the Rebbe made his UN. You know that the Rebbe had his UN.
Yeah. Your father was
My father was the king of Morocco. The Rebbe told him, "Du bist the balabos of Morocco." He used it many times. There's once sitting in a car, and an Arab policeman decided to bother him. He stops him. When you see your passport, your license. You're born in Russia. You're an American. You live in Morocco. Just go. I don't want to start up with you. Just go. It's America and Russia and Morocco. This is the allies. The allies of Morocco is America. So you don't want. And the famous story I heard it from my brothers once. Now the guy gets Musnadi that didn't stop talking against the Rebbe. So my father decided he has no choice. Called him up and he says, "The Rebbe mainly balabos in Morocco. You have 24 hours. Either you stop talking, or you take your packages and you leave Morocco." That's a baruch. And then there's a whole thing that happened in Tovshin Lamadal, a big moifus from the Rebbe. This is not now, but that was my father connected with that the Rebbe made in Balabos. And very interesting that they spoke before Kinus HaShluchim. There was a Kenes Tzach every Tishrei, and the Shluchim used to speak. Whoever was there from the whole entire world. That was before Kinus HaShluchim. It was in Nispatel once Kinus HaShluchim happened, so the Kenes Tzach Sukkot time didn't happen anymore because it didn't need it because it happened at Kinus HaShluchim. So you used to speak different Shluchim from different countries. And the Rebbe said that each Shliach should speak as a balabos from Zanot. He not start to speak, and then my father spoke different things, and he mentioned the king. And he mentioned, so he said he doesn't know why he mentioned the king, because the king was very good with the Yidden. Mentioned the king, and the king should have all the brachos. So später in his gallery, wo der der Balabos und das Matzel gewinnen. Back to Yud Shvat. So this is we're talking about Tov Shalamed, Lamed Alf. The next time was Yud Shvat, Shabbos again, Shabbos boy was Tov Shalamed Gimel. If I bring him out to Shabbos, but I want to go to Tov Shalamed Beis. Tov Shalamed Beis, and I think you saw it here in the past, and it's Kedai, it's a video from it, Rabbi Shochat. It's Kedai to see it again as a Chonin to Yud Shvat. This is a bombedike, a fire-dike, a unbelievable Verbringen from a lot of Yud Shvats, as the Rebbe, the first three sichas, he addressed 4 words of the minor, Bossi, Legani, Achlesikala. And the Rebbe says, this world is a gute Welt, is a garden. And we have to know that it's a kerem, it's an orchard with good fruits. So we have to know, we have to make it to be a good world. The next sikha, the Rebbe says, what's before Legani? What we said before? Bossi. Who's Bossi? The Eibishter. So we have to know the first thing is the Eibishter. And the Rebbe explains, it's fair, the first 3 sichas is, we see, I show it even though Mesifta every year there's different shurim, but every year I show it mechadosh, and every year Seveta is Eirus mechadosh mamesh, say by the Bochim, say by the whoever sees it. There's a minor there. It's based for the second time on Ois base of Basulgan Avodas HaKorbanos, and it's a very special minor. The minor came out to Mugit Tovshin Nun base. The Rebbe speaks about the Korbanos Achas HaAvodos. Friedrich Rebbe says Achas HaAvodos. What is Achas HaAvodos? By the way, mentioning this, we'll go back for a minute to Tovshin Yud base. And there is a recording from that minor. First time the Rebbe is speaking about the Avodas HaKorbanos, the Ois base, and the Rebbe speaks a whole arichas about the Yid's Avodah. That from time to time a Yid is making a Cheshbon HaNefesh, that what is a korban? Being a korban has to be shalom shleimus, and he's missing. He's not. He didn't do this avodah, didn't do this avodah, and he has these things. And suddenly, the Rebbe burst out crying. Abechi, mitten in meinem was vegani, especially by the words "ein boy mesoim" is not b'shleimus. It's kedai to the hell in the meinem, and it's a mugi that came meinem too. The next time there was Yud Shvat Shabbos again was Tov Shalom Zayin, and there was a Fabring Shabbos and there was a Fabring Motzei Shabbos, and the Fabringen and the Rebbe said, no, sorry, Tov Shalom Dalet, Tov Shalom Dalet. But I mentioned Tov Shalom Zayin, so let me say one word and go back to Tov Shalom Dalet. Tov Shalom Zayin, the Maimer of Shabbos, and the Rebbe. Maimah Motzei Shabbos are almost the same, and the Rebbe said they should put it together. It's a very long Maimah, so you have inside and you have on the bottom Ha'oros. It's very, very interesting how there was a long avodah for the Manichim. The Rebbe said the Iker they should put in Pnim for what he said Motzei Shabbos. What he said Shabbos by day, they should. What is an addition, they should put it in Ha'oros. Goes Pitzia. Tov Shalom Dalet. This is a quiz of this year. The whole entire year is Tov Shalom Dalet. Whole entire year, from the beginning to the end. This is actually the only quiz. Last year we had Lamed Gimel. This year we have only Lamed Dalet. And the Rebbe did verbring Shabbos, and the Rebbe verbring Motzei Shabbos. And there is a lot of chidushim in that verbringen. The Mivtzoim, Mivtza Tzedakah, Mivtza Mezuzah, came out that Motzei Shabbos. And Mivtza Bayis Moles Forim, many Mivtzoim that Motzei Shabbos. And then there is something you all know, but we have to mention this. The Rebbe spoke, the famous Sikha of the Rebbe, that he should see that families should gather together Friday night. You ever heard about that Sikha? The Rebbe says he wants to speak a Inyan that will guide them achdus in the family. What is going to help achdus in family? Because they think that the father is occupied and the mother is occupied. So b'meila, and it's b'derech hateva, it's b'api Shulchan Aruch. So b'meila it comes that they don't sit together, and you don't sit together, so there's no achdus. So therefore, says the Rebbe, Friday afternoon. And especially, so you have to prepare for Shabbos. Comes Friday night, you have to do the Shabbos. Everyone has to be by the table. The father, the mother, and the bonim and the bonois by the same table, in the same room. And you should speak in yonim of Shabbos, and not in yonim of Choil, because you can't speak in yonim of Choil on Shabbos. And that will make that the mishpacha should be healthy for the whole entire week. Because if there is different arguments, different ideas between the father and son, the mother and daughter, ke'imo kibito, says the Rebbe. So Shabbos by the table, so everything sets up that everything should be by achdus, and that is spoiled for the whole entire year. I don't know if there's a video from that Fabring, but Jem has it in do it with the subtitles. He made a big study of that sikha, and the Rebbe says that this brings a achdus. There was a whole sikha. That was that Motzei Shabbos Yud Shvat Tov Shalom Dalet. Before I continue, there's also a very important inyan that the Rebbe always makes yumim hadronim. So Shabbos there was no hadron. Besides, maybe Rebbe says Shabbos you don't, because of the Yotzeit you do hadron. Shabbos you don't do that. I think one year the Rebbe did make a hadron, but the derech klal the Rebbe did not make a hadron on Shabbos. So one of my bottom this year is Tov Shechofei, correct? Tov Shechofei. The Rebbe explaining Goyis Tezvov the first time. So you all know it's very important. If you're looking for a hadron, the famous hadron on the Sechte Makos was Yud Shvat Tov Shechofei. This went through almost the whole entire Fabring, one sich after the other. I remember when it came out they gave it out in a Kuntres, it was a big. Looking like in the Teres Menachem, it's Koivei Abrochel Atzma. They put it separately. a lot of pages. The Rebbe is going through the Hadron, explaining a Pshat, Remes, Drush, Shoid. If you're looking for a Hadron, this is to listen and to learn. There's many sikhs that didn't go in. I'm not lagia, but this is something meyuchad, echad umeyuchad. This is the also about that verbringen. The Rebbe spoke, not mistaking, was that verbringen. The Rebbe spoke. Why did the Friedrich Rebbe came out with Sefer Zichronis? We know there is Sefer Sichos of the Friedrich Rebbe. This is Likutei Diburim, which is very Soidis the Kenyonim. There's some Sichos, some Maimonim, but it's very Soidis Kenyonim in knowing different things in the history of Chassidim and in Avodas Hashem that the Friedrich Rebbe did it. And it's known that the early years before the Rebbe's Sichos came out, that was the thing that what the Bochim knew. And I think the Rebbe to go into to upstairs for Friedrich Rebbe, you had to be Baki in Likutei Diburim. Yeah, it wasn't so simple. And it was called the Amerikaner Bochim. The Amerikaner Bochim, they were Baki in Likutei Diburim. And today, with all what we have, Likutei Sichos and Teres Menachem, Sefer Maimorim, Sichos Kodesh, and Higas Kodesh, there's a koch, there's a mivtza, the mashpim do with Bochim, that on their own time, that they should kovei abrocha la'atzmet to learn in Likutei Diburim, Sefer Sichos, Sefer Zichronos. All of this today you have it in different languages. Today it is accessible in different languages. So the Rebbe Tovshin Chofhei said, why did the Friedrich Rebbe did all of this? Besides his Maimorim Sichos, there's Likutei Diburim, Sefer Zichronos, and there's Sefer Sichos. Very interesting. Sefer Zichronos is Mamish stories. The Rebbe said, Friedrich Rebbe wanted to reach not only the maskilim, not only those that know how to learn. Friedrich Rebbe wanted to reach also those that they don't know how to just read. They will read this, they will get closer to Yiddishkeit, and then be able to learn also. Very special. The Rebbe didn't say it till then and after then. There's another thing that the Rebbe said in that Fabring. The Rebbe is very emotional. The famous story with that Melamed that was in a dorf, in a village, and he was away from his house because he needed parnassus. He was teaching the kids of that dorfman that didn't know how to learn how to read. So, and by the letter came, a letter came to that person. So he didn't know how to read. So he asks the Melamed, "Can you read it?" Yeah. So he reads it, and as soon as he sees the guy is falling and fainting, pale, and what happened? What did it? Said, what did he read? What was written in the letter? His father died. His father passed away. The Rebbe became very emotional. The Rebbe said, the Rebbe was talking about the Rebbe. The Rebbe said that we have to know that the Rebbe is the Tata, and has to be negeya to us about a Rebbe. Negate to us, like negeya by him, that's his gashmi the ketata. So we have to negate to us, like was negate to him the gashmius, has to negate to us everything. The whole sich that was Yud Shvat Tovshin Chofei. The nekuda of Mazari Bachayim Afu Bachayim. Want to speak about it, but since I mentioned this inyan benegeya to Rebbe, so I want to share with you something with the new sefer that came out. The Yom Meilu, Misame Mitzeshemet and those Bakumen, Teres Menachem Pegimel. Teres Menachem Pegimel.
When did it come out?
The Yom Meilu. The Rebbe spoke about the Sima Rambam Horishoin, which, by the way, we finished yesterday Mishpatim. We started Shoiftim for Shleisha Prakim. So that's reminding us that Sima Rambam is coming in the Rosh Chodesh Adar Mitzvah. So the Rebbe, by the first Sima Rambam, the Rebbe mentioned that the Rambam has 83 halachas. 83 is the gematria of Machle. And the Rambam says, when you learn this, I am guaranteed that you have no machlas. The Rebbe connected with Hasuroisim Machlo. There is Menachem Pegimel. Hasuroisim Machlo. So very interesting that this Thursday Menachem comes out with the Fabringen of Shabbos Shmois and then right away to Yud Shvat. So Shabbos before Yud Shvat, there is a Sikha from the Rebbe, there's 3 Sikhas before the Maimon. And the Rebbe is talking about Hachonah to Yud Shvat. And listen to this. Poshet. It's unbelievable. The Rebbe says, was darf man tun? Lern Torah. Lern Nigler und Chassidus jeden Tag ampschätlich. Avodas Atfilah. Friedrich Rebbe said once, what is Avodas Atfilah? This Tfilah b'tzibur, you got to gather your koiches hanefesh. You have to understand what you daven, and when you can't be misboinen, tzedakah. You have to give tzedakah. You have to give to others, and be poiled tzedakah on others, be mekav others. This is the heroes Shabbos before Yud Shvat, but then these are Sikha, the second Sikha. This is very special. It's I say oyum v'noida. I say oyum yomim leroim. The Rebbe says like this. I never saw this Sikha before, never saw this after. The Rebbe says that a soldier has to describe himself that he's standing in front of the king. That is a soldier. That even years went by, he describes the way he stood in front of the king. And the Rebbe said a famous story, which is mentioned in Sefer HaSichos of Rebbe, Tofet Tzadik Dalet, that this soldier once fainted because he described himself how he's standing in front of the Tsar of the king. So he got scared, he fainted. So the Rebbe says, what is he talking about? He's talking now this is Tov Shel Lamed Vov. Tov Shel Lamed Vov is 26 years after the Istalkus of Yud Shvat. That you should describe to yourself what happened Yud Shvat. Shabbos Bo Yud Shvat Tov Shin Yud. Those that were b'Shas Maaseh and those that heard what happened. And especially that in Shabbos Boy, because that was the Istalkus of Friedrich Rebbe. The Rebbe goes on, I'm not coming to scare anybody that you should have in the Filas Ruach, start thinking about the Istalkus. No, it's going to be a Kitzu Veranenu, says the Rebbe. But you have to be misboinen in what happened. And not that you should be a alfus, fainting. You should have a union of bittul to the Rebbe and to be mehaper the sheker of the world to the keresh, yonim b'basel legani, and become mekushit to the Rebbe. Look, I'm looking at the Sikha. I never saw such a Sikha. The Rebbe should we were not the Yud Shvat. We heard from the Chassidim. Now, when he gave to us, is unfortunately this is the end of Gimel Tammuz. We should hear those that were the Gimel Tammuz, that remember Gimel Tammuz, but the Rebbe is saying that we have to be misboining, because many times I have that question. The speaker is sitting in Fabringing with Bachrim, doing a light. Between ourselves, we have to mention what happened first Gimel Tammuz. This is Goydem Tsa'ar, is Goydem Bechio, but the Rebbe says you do. The Rebbe says you do have to be misboiling what happened. And there's many details what happened. That Shabbos, Erev Gimel Tammuz, Motzei Shabbos, and Sunday, different in Yonim. That from one side is very, very hard, but from the other side we do. That's just, I wanted to shoot you about that. Now we can go back. What did I mention? Zarei B'chaim, Afu B'chaim. So you should know that Tov Shin Chav Gimel, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time that the Rebbe spoke about it by Arichus. Ma Zarei B'chaim, Afu B'chaim. Kamo v'kamo siches. What is that mean, Afu B'chaim? And the Rebbe says, even though that after we say that Hu B'chaim, but we're talking about the levushim, that when a chassid conducts himself and he follows what the Rebbe wants from him, so he's bringing the Rebbe in him. It's ma'u afu b'chaim and different levushim. Tavshin Chavav, the Rebbe spoke again about it in the beginning of the Fabringen. Tavshin Lamed Hey. This is something You can hear it. It's printed. 25 years. The Rebbe says, Ma zare b'chaim, afu b'chaim, meint men begashmius, do bepoil. Begashmius. Beruchnius ist doch die ganze Zeit du b'chaim. Wir meint begashmius. This was Tafshin, Yud Shvat Lamed Hey. It's very interesting how the Rebbe, so this is I mean, Tafshin Yud Zayin, the Rebbe, the many from the Chassidim that this should be B'chaim and made it as Afu B'chaim, but this is something to know that Tafshin Lamed Hey was the first time a very big Fabringen. I mean, Tafshin Lamed, it was Friday and the Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos. The Rebbe Fabringen the Friday, Simach Nasvateh, Shabbos by day, Motzei Shabbos. But the oilam that came then, Tafshin Lamed Hey, there's a video from it, from the whole entire Fabringen. There's one between the Sikhs, different people went over to the Rebbe. Shluchim came with different, that they came with a proclamation for the Rebbe. From Mamish Pshute from USA, was then a lot of Shluchim already, the Fierre from United States, different countries, different, and each one was representing the proclamation. And each and every one, the Rebbe said, it's not about me, it's about the movement. It's unbelievable. It's not about me, it's about the movement. And who's the movement? It's the Rebbe. But the bit of unbelievable, the anivus from the Rebbe is laughing. Chaim. I want to mention Universe Kaveh Baruch of Naats. I was lucky to be there. I came to the Rebbe Sof Lametes, it's Tafshin Mem. But before I go to Tafshin Mem, I want to mention one more time that was Shabbos. It was 41 years ago, same Kviyas, Shabbos B'Shalach Yud Shvat. Then the Rebbe did not Fabring Motzei Shabbos. So only Shabbos was the Fabring. Erev Shabbos before that, Shabbos for Eiro Gimel Shvat, the Rebbe spoke about printing Tanyas. The Rebbe spoke about printing Tanyas in the Lamets, Tov Lamed Ches, but it was not such a pirsum. Tovshin Daled Mem, it took a very big hit, and the Rebbe was mishtatef in a $20 bill for every Tanya printed. And they were printing Tanyas a lot. Since then, it became a big student. Today, they have how many Tanyas? In the thousands and thousands, yeah? So there was, after the Rebbe spoke about it, so there was a big Israelus to print a Tanya Kronahitz. They printed in Vad Avot Siches upstairs, and they managed to have one bound for the Rebbe. There was a Akdosha for all the Teshva Shchuna and the Rav, Rabbi Shimon Dvokin, and Bereishon for the Rebbe. And the Rebbe came into the Fabring in Shabbos with his Siddur, with the Tanya. It was very interesting, the Tanya that the Rebbe got. It wasn't a it was very big Tanya. Not big, medium size, but, and the Rebbe came in and put on the table, and guess what? The Fabring was about Kronheights. The Rebbe spoke, what's crown heights? Crown is Kesser. And heights is Kesser Shemtev Oil Al Gabein. The whole entire Sikh about crown heights. Imagine. Yud Shvat. The Rebbe was praising about the Tanya. The Rebbe called over Rabbi Zalman Shimon. The Rebbe gave him a Chaim. The Rebbe was very, very pleased and happy that they were printing a Tanya. And it was it was written Nitfas Ba'aliyas, Ba'aliyas V'Saknes Ba'aliyas, because Ba'ala Fotzosich is in the second floor. Ba'aliyas, and this came a year after Nishetz Negeh, the fire Yodua that was Tavshim Mem Gimel. The whole place burnt. They had to renovate and everything. This is a separate thing, but the Rebbe spoke about it. So. That Shabbos, so there was a Maimer, Basar Lagani. So that's from the only Maimarim that okay, the Rebbe didn't forbring Motzei Shabbos, you don't have a recording. Any time that the Rebbe said the Maimon Shabbos, the Rebbe forbade again Motzei Shabbos, so you have the same Maimon with Tosafos. This you don't. I remember Bachazorah. This is something I have to share with you. Bachazorah. So the said was Rabbi Yoel. The Chayzer was sitting in the middle. To his right was there was Chazokas there also. There was Chazokas. This one was to his right. This one to his left. Remember, I also had a second or third door. I was sitting there with the paper writing up because I had Chazah in Yeshiva Chazah at home, and by his feet to the right was to his left was Reb David Feldman from Vada Nos Balahak. To his right was Reb Simon Jacobson from Vada Nos Satmimim. And by his feet was sitting Reb Shalom Jacobson. And there was Shabbos, was a lot of Achim. So they gave place for the Achim, was Reb Putefas, different Achim that came. I remember in the middle of the Maimer, this was the 14th Ois, this last year's Maimer, we learned Tavshin Aleph. And in the middle, Reb Yeres Chazing in the Maimer, and then he gets very excited. The Hirschel! The Chiddush von Aya. You hear? He talks like he forgot this Chassidim is sitting around and someone recording. This is the Chiddush of this year, not the Chiddush. No, it was a mathemata in Tachlis. And he went on and then he immediately got very excited. The hair, not the Chiddush. I remember this. Tov Shemem Hey, this is what we learn. This is the second time the Rebbe is speaking about Eist as well. So I want to share with you something. I'm for sure you saw the Kuntras, yeah? You saw the Kuntras. The Maimer. It was 3 Maimerim. Shabbos, yeah, was Yud Shvat Friday. And Shabbos without Shvat, again, the Rebbe didn't forbring Motzei Shabbos. But 2 days later, there was a forbringen to Shvat. From time to time, the Rebbe forbring to Shvat. It was very special. This is Kaveh Bochel Atzmoy, with the fruits that the Rebbe had. Remind me by the end to share with you something, has Reb Shmuel. Something that happened Shabbos b'Shalach Chamishos b'Shvat Tovshim Mem Zayin. I have to share with you something that it's not printed anywhere, and I don't know why. This is something very special. So remind me this. To b'Shvat Tovshim Mem Zayin. Remind me this towards the end. Tzakaponim, the Rebbe said a Maimer Abo Rosh Hashanah. Abo Rosh Hashanah. I think that's how it starts. No, you don't learn to do it. No. Yeah. Yeah, and then the Rebbe went in. Usually the Rebbe doing this. The Rebbe went into the Hemshech of Basel Legani, and then the next Shabbos was the same. It was Shabbos Chai Shvat, and the Rebbe said the Maimon Vayishma Yisroi, and the Rebbe went into Basel Legani. It was a Hemshech. Those years, a Hemshech was not a regular thing. The Hemshechim stopped in the Chofs, the Lamets, Mems in the Mems Hemshechim. That's not a Rogil. It was Yud Shvat and Chamishos b'Shvat and Shabbos Yisroi. But this is not done yet. Shabbos Mishpatim, the Rebbe spoke about it, and Shabbos Tetzaveh. What happened? We're all learning this Maimorim, and we're all getting excited about the Tzimtzum, Shelifna Tzimtzumim, yeah. And the Rebbe is taking us to a different level. And here, the Maskilim, Shebelubavitch, then they were writing questions in Oris, Rabbi Melech Tzvibel, Rabbi Yoel Khan, and the Rebbe was speaking about it. Ad Gdei Kach, that once the Rebbe said, the Alter Rebbe know about this Tzimtzum, he knows it here. Either you heard it Beruach HaKodesh, either you heard it from Moshe Rabbeinu. So stop. Stop to Lachkol. But this is something very special. You know, you're learning Basel Legan Tov Shidal. The first us, yeah? The first us is every year you're learning. It's very hard, yeah? The Shechina, according to all the Rabbeim, it's not easy. When you have all this Pidushim, simplicity, this and that, still, there's some parts of it that you take in the Kabbalah, sorry, correct? So this is a chesed. According to my humble opinion, this is a chesed that the Rebbe did with us. He shared with us where he's holding in the higher levels. In the share with us. The house door is good. Akaparim, the Kabbalah soil. Ani Akapan, who I am, but I'm thinking, when did the Rebbe said this? Tovshin Mem Hey. Tovshin Mem Hey is Tovshin Ma. Chochma Koyach Ma. Vanachnu Leida Ma. The Rebbe took us to the level of Ma. Those wissen, sie da matzev ma. So we have to learn the Maimon. We have to understand how much we could. But then, so this is the Indian of Tov Shemem Hey. I remember then, that year, the 30 days from Shabbos Yud Shvat till Purim, almost 30 days. The guy didn't stop. Every other Shabbos, was a koch for 30 days. Said to you, Benegay Tov Shemem. Tov Shemem, I was zoiche to be there. Tov Shemem, the Rebbe celebrated 30 years of Mesius. And that was very special. Ochim came from all over, it was packed. The Shabbos before that, it was a Fabringen. And the Rebbe spoke, different siches, the Rebbe spoke about Godel HaMetzuva ve'oise, yoise mimisha eine metzuva ve'oise. Great the one that is being told to do more than one that is not being told to do, and he does. The Rebbe was preparing the Olam, Shloshim Shana. The Rebbe was preparing the whole year, but then, and Yud Shvat was Monday night of Fabringen. Imagine how big was the Olam. That was the first time that they had the bleachers. You call it bleachers, yeah? The first time since 70 they had bleachers. And not everyone was able to go in. They had to do another room to have a camera video from the Fabringen. I remember going to some 70 early afternoon to catch a place. There was a very special person that came to the Fabringen. Who came then? Yud Shvat Tov Shemem. No, that was Tov Shelamed Gimel. Rabbi Yosheber Soloveitchik. He was with the Rebbe in Paris. Rabbi Avraham Yitzchok Shemtov was eingesucht und stark, knew that we have to, he did a lot then for Yud Shvat, Shloshim Shana. There was the Lubavitch friends, American Lubavitch friends. It was a big thing then, and they all came to the Fabringen, and they had to keep for them places, but he said, yes, for sure there's a lot behind it, I don't know all the details. He got to bring him to the Fabringen. He was not young then. Tov Shemem, the Rebbe was close to 80, and he was older than the Rebbe.
He went up to the Rebbe, no?
Wait. Chake rega. So they had to bring him. He was, drove, or he flew. It was Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, Chicago. Probably, I don't know, flew. It's not, didn't drive, flew. And he came with one of his Meshamshim Bakoidesh, and they made up that he will stay for the first Sikha, that's it, and he leaves after. Now they got him a place, with the Rebbe sat on the Rebbe's right, in the weekday Fabringens, the big Fabringens, there was a Yid by the name Rebbe Ephraim Eliezer HaKoyin Yalis from Philadelphia, the Samburer roof. He was a chassan from Frediker Rebbe, later from the Rebbe. He sat on the Rebbe's right. Mamish not far from the Rebbe, you know that, yeah? And they made a place, and on the Rebbe's left, Rabbi Chadukov. So they made between, I think it was on the Rebbe's right and the Rebbe's left, the Mamish close to the Rebbe, the closest that could be. Put a chip for him. The Rebbe came in. The Rebbe should go through Skrias Yamsuf. The crowd that was there to make place for the Rebbe. And the Rebbe saw him. The Rebbe said Shalom Aleichem to him. It was very besimcha. And the Rebbe then made a hadron on Bonoich. You know Bonoich? Bonoich is Rosh Tevis. Brochos, Nazir, Yuma or Yevomis, and Krisus. All those four, Rabbi Shochat helped me over here. Bonoich is.
They all have the same. There's more than 4.
No, the first one is Brochos, the second one is Nazir, and Yuma or Yevomis, and then Krisus. They have the same siyum. Tamid Chacham Mam Shom Boilam. This Bonoich. The Rebbe made the siyum.
Those two old then.
But they went over the Meshamas Bakoidish went over to him. He says, "You ready to go?" I said, "No, I'm staying." He loved it. He said, he remembers those days in Paris we used to come in with the Rebbe. Wow. He stayed. minimum another hour. And then he got up to leave. Now, when he got up to leave, the Rebbe stood up. And when the Rebbe stands, everyone stands. There was thousands of people. Everyone is standing. As it says in Yisroi, Mi Rosh Elu Oimdim Kulam Amdu Yevamis. Shkoy. So, and the Rebbe was talking to him. Thank you. Shalom Aleichem. Spoke to him. Didn't see each other. We have to say Shechiyot. It was something.
By the way, officially tells Rabbi came then.
From London.
Yeah, but he was founded by Yud Shvat.
Yeah.
Well, he knew him because he was a Hawaii born.
Rabbi Tzvi tells me.
So,
Yeah. He was the one that came with him?
no, he wasn't. No, he probably wasn't ready in 770, but he was there that day.
No, Rabbi tells me wasn't married then, wasn't in Australia?
No.
Not yet? Okay, say it.
What? So he said that he had to get up because he pushed had to go to the bathroom. So he got up.
It's on recording.
It's a good excuse.
And he says that. I heard it from Rabbi Tells.
Aha.
He says, Posh, you have to, it's not okay. He wanted, because he got up in the middle of the night. He said,
That's-
Posh, he couldn't hold himself.
Yeah, all right.
It's a
Say
good
that.
excuse.
By the way, it's
I
neither.
go to the bathroom. Don't say that.
Rabbi Hirschel, neither. Neither for
Neither. It's neither.
Not nothing. Okay, so we got to reverse. Barachos, Nida, Yevamois, and Krisus. Okay, yeah. By the way, that Hadron came out, not Muge, Lahak gave it out from one of the years for Yud Shvat, whole countries. But you should know that this Hadron went on.
No, you're right. Nazir.
Nazir. Rabbi.
He finishes off with
Nazir. Okay, so Barachos, Nazir, Yevamois, Krisus. That Hadron, the Rebbe spoke about it, you know till when? For almost a whole month. Shabbos Mishpatim, Shabbos Shkolim, Mevochim HaChodesh, Ve'erev Rosh Chodesh Adar. The Rebbe spoke about this Hadron here, and the Rebbe connected Brachos, Nazir, Yevamois, and Krisus to Mishpatim, Shkolim, Mevochim HaChodesh, Ve'erev Rosh Chodesh Adar. This went on, from Yud Shvat till it's almost 3 weeks. Then, by that Farbringen, there was a famous Dr. Resnick that was with the Rebbe a lot. He got married that week, and the Rebbe, and he came to the Farbringen. The Rebbe said to make Shabbat brachos. By that Farbringen. Farbringen went on very late. Started 9:30, ended 2:30. Very, very late Farbringen. The Rebbe, the celebration of Shloshim Shana went on till Rosh Chodesh Adar. Yeah? It was Sunday, Rosh Chodesh Adar. The Rebbe said, after Mincha, I don't know if you knew before, or they knew right after, that he's coming down to Fabring. Sunday, Rosh Chodesh Adar. And there was then a kvutze of Tmimim going to Australia. And the Rebbe made sure, that's why the Rebbe made it Fabring in the afternoon, because they had to go on to the airport. So the Rebbe said that they should pack everything and be ready to leave from Samsam to the airport, because he's going to Fabring in the afternoon. And we were walking in the day, smack him in the day, Fabring. That wasn't the only time, it was a Chodesh Shvat also. The Rebbe then was speaking about not to make family planning. The Rebbe said, "We soll haben 12 Shvatim beim Tisch." The Rebbe is git beseches sedach maspil chag. Many things happened after that Fabring. It was a Chodesh Shvat. You know, came to the Rebbe then. Oh, now I remember. It was Montreal Fabring. Forgot his name. Dr. Schussheim. Dr. Schussheim is from Israel. He's a big fighter against family planning. He was there. He came to the Rebbe Yechidus. The Rebbe made a Fabring, middle of the day, a Chodesh Shvat, like the Rebbe said a minor, the Rebbe spoke 6. According back to the Chodesh Adar, the Rebbe said then. So first of all, the minor of Yud Shvat, which was not regular, the Rebbe should be Magia then a minor. They didn't give him the minors with Sahusa the Leila. The Rebbe was Magia the minor, Shloshim Shana. Because before then, the Rebbe was Magia only the minor of Tavshi Basa Legani Tavshi Yud Aleph. You know when the Rebbe was Magia, when was the minor ready? Minor was ready for Yud Aleph Nissen. Yud Aleph Nissen, Tavshi Yud Aleph. When the Rebbe went to the oil, the Rebbe said the minor did to the Frierdiker Rebbe. You know that? Basa Legani Tavshi Yud Aleph, the Rebbe said by the oil. So, and Tov Shud Beis,
That was when? Before the next morning.
you darf listen.
Oh, you don't.
Darf listen, Tov Shud Beis.
Wow, when he printed.
That's when they came out. That's when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tov Shud Beis, that was Magid Emayin, and Tov Shud Gimel. Then it was no Tov Shud Tes was Muger, and noch about the Muger, and the next time was Tov Shud Mem. Then Shabbos the Tzave, Shabbos Mishpotim. The Rebbe said the Emayin is Yitnu. The Rebbe was Magid Emayin. And then Sunday Yud Adar, the Rebbe made a siyum of the whole entire Yud Shvat. And listen what happened. Yes, the Rebbe said he's going to give out $3. That was not rogel then bichlal. The whole meaning of giving out through the tankisten started Tov Shmem Beis, but the Chavis Lebanon giving out, or the earlier the Lamets with the tankisten. And the Rebbe said he wants to give out himself, not through the tankisten. And how is he going to give it out? Not in dollars, in dimes. Because each dime is 10. And 3 times 10 is 30. So the Chaved, Yud Shvat Shleishim Shana, is going to give out, sorry. Not dimes, sorry. You're giving out dollars, and each dollar has 10 dimes. Each dollar has 10 dimes, so it's going to give out $3, which contains 30 dimes, which is the in of Shloshim. And Shalei Korogil, the Rebbe, first he gave out to the Shluchim that had to go to the airport, and then all the Ochim that left then to all the guests, all the Anash, and then the ladies came in the afternoon, the ladies and the girls and the pizzalach. So I remember when we were all standing there, the Rebbe is looking at us, and the Rebbe started to sing, like you got to live now. But this change in the noons what the Rebbe gave out, and the ladies were going through, this didn't, the Rebbe did not, Shivan Ananda Seder. So we were standing on the side, but I remember once, regarding this, was Tavshin Nun Beis, the Rebbe was giving out dollars then, a lot. So there was Hes Reb Shmuel Amoredi Kemaiser. So there was it was a Gerech Chassid. I never forget this. A Gerech Chassid comes into something. You want to get a dollar? The Rebbe is giving out dollar. Want to get a dollar? And he sees the ladies are going through, and I was standing towards the door. Comes, I see he's lost. I said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Who's the Deuces guy jetzt?" The Deuces guy jetzt, because by the Chassidim they call the ladies the Deuces. So I told them, yeah, the Deuces guy jetzt, and noch the Deuces with the guy. You know, take it easy. But the Rebbe there was a mile from everything. It was, so this is Tovshin, and by the way, you should know that Tovshin Lamed Esrim Shono, the Rebbe also made a special Fabringen, Yud Shvat, Chov Shvat. You know, Chov Shvat, the Rebbe made a special Fabringen. You know that the Rebbe said the story then. The Rebbe told the guests from Eretz Yisrael, they came with the charter plane, and they had to leave. So the Rebbe said they should all come with the buses packed because he's going to Fabringen, and from there they're going to go to the airport. So there was a sikha that the Chassidim are thinking now, soon they have to travel. So they have to go to JFK, to Kennedy Airport, and they have a flight. So the Rebbe said the story with the Frierdiker Rebbe, that Frierdiker Rebbe had to go somewhere on a train. He went into the Frierdiker Rebbe a few minutes before, and the Frierdiker Rebbe was sitting calmly and writing something, learning something, and it was 2-3 minutes before going. So it says, he told the Rebbe says, he told the Frierdiker Rebbe, after the car. So the Frierdiker Rebbe told him, you have to have, what's the Lashon? The Rebbe said, has to be a kvidus. Oh, you have to be balabos on time. You have to be balabos on time. Not the time should be balabos on you. You have to be balabos on time. And therefore, says the Rebbe, so to all the dear guests that are sitting here, forget now by of the plane, El Al, forget now about airport, Kennedy, forget now about your traveling. Now you're sitting by the seat of the by the Fabringen. And the Rebbe said, then a maimer by Dabel Kim's Kol Adom was Pashas Yisrael. Very special. By the way, the Rebbe is the same. The Maskius used to go into the Rebbe a few minutes before. The Rebbe was sitting 9:30 Verbringen. A minute before the Rebbe came. 9:30, the Rebbe was downstairs. 9:30, a minute before, it was like Balabos of Zman. L'mayla ma'azman or Bebizman. To conclude, so before we conclude, Chaim, from all of this sitting and Verbringen and talking now that we have to take a Verbringen, a Maimer, a Sicha Verbringen to see and to hear. Like this, we go into the mode of Yud Shvat and we prepared to fall zum Rebbe, to you here. You have to be and give it over at home. They should see that we live with this. This is Rosh Hashanah, there is Kashrus. I come from Morocco. Morocco, there is the day. My brother, Rabbi Raskin from Kotlut, speaks a lot about this. In Morocco, there is the day that the king became the king. They celebrate. Shomei Feria, as they say in French. There's no working, they pay you. It's a special day, and they put flags, and they put lights. Shoshana is Kashrus. This is the day that the Rebbe became a Rebbe. This is a special day. We have to be Yud Shvat, we have to be Miskoinim. And how? Through the Maimorim, through the Sichas. So I want to conclude.
What is it? Tu B'Shvat Mizan?
No, before that. That's going to be the last one. I want to conclude with something that is not so simple to digest. But Ma'aseh Shoel Kachoyer. Tavshim Memches was the last time the Rebbe said Bosel Legani. Yud Shvat was Friday, and Shabbos was the last time the Rebbe Maim Bosel Legani was, and the Rebbe was Magir at Maim, B'Shaito, and there was Ois Chai. Now towards the end of the Maimer, the Rebbe was saying in Yonim, which he never said before. The Rebbe said that we are in Doir HaShvi from the Alter Rebbe. We are in the Doir HaTshi'i from the Baal Shem Tov. And our Doir, the Doir Achim, becomes the Doir HaGeula. Now, this Maimer, when we went into the Rebbe wrote B'Ksaviyat Kotshoi, Doir HaSidi, She'el Hoylech Likas Mashiach Tzidkeinu. This is the last Maimer the Rebbe said. Memtes Nun Alf Nun Beis, the Rebbe was Magia Maimorim, and Ois Yutes, Ois Chof, is Alf, is Beis from the previous years. That was the last time the Rebbe said the Maimer. What's that? So this takes me.
It's the first time he said such a thing?
Wrote Saviyat Kotcher.
He didn't say it.
No. And this came went into the mind. Ois Yutes. There's a ganze Meise with them. So this takes me to Shabbos Nosoi, the base 70 Nosoi, the second Verbringen, the Isvadus bis Oimis. The Rebbe said to sing all the Nigunim of the Rabbi from the Baal Shem Tov to him. 9, yeah. Then the Rebbe said, we will sing in the 10 Nigen. With them 10 Nigen, with the game of Kabbalah, and Tim Oshit Tzidkeinu. I'm not mistaken, the 10th Nigen was Niet Nikava. Almost sure. And you look at the Isvadus, Shabbos Nosoi, the Isvadus, in the Ordis, Stutzer dort with the 10th Nigen, Stutzer dort. So it could be, this is the Indian. Before I go to Chamish Oso B'Shvat, Tovshin Memzayin, I was many years later. No, I want to say a story to Rebbe Motzkin. Das ist eigentlich so stark. Der Rosh HaShluchim von Montreal, which this week is his birthday, the Oidech Yom Shonim Toides. So, Tovshim Memtes, we were Bochum Semsemt, the Rebbe was at home. It was Shnas Ho'aboim, because Tovshin the Rebbe turned 40 years of Nisius. The Rebbe gave out Tanya then, yeah? Whole night the Rebbe giving out a Tanya. The Rebbe went to the stand, there was Sunday night. He, Ba'aboim, Shona, a few minutes. And the Rebbe, Memtes was Shnas Aboim, 39 years. Topshinu was Aboim Shana. The Rebbe went to the standard. Vayib Aboim Shana. The Rebbe said, this story is connected with the, like the Rebbe says in the mind of Yud Shvat, Shvi ilo Risho, in Risho ilo Shvi. So the Rebbe gave out a Tanya. Like the Rebbe did Yud Hafnis and Topshim and Beis. And the Rebbe did later Yud Kislev, Topshim and Aleph. The Rebbe gave out, and Yud Hafnis and Memdala, but the Rebbe gave out a Tanya. Shois al Gabi Shois. The famous green Tanya, yeah? But Topshim Memtes, remember standing outside of the Rebbe's house. The Rebbe was at home then. There was no minor. And we were standing together, Bachim and Baradas. Shveke minor. Rebbe Mochkin was standing, and he told us, he says, you walk, now you wake up? We were your whole year. The Rebbe don't say my mom. The Rebbe doesn't say my mom for months. After the status of the Rebbe, it was a few times the Rebbe said my mom. It was the last time. It was Shabbos Breishis Tov Shim and Vov, and then was my mom came Sicher. It was the Pashas of Svorim. That's what we explained. Maybe that was the reason that the Rebbe stopped saying my mom to Nigen. But then was not too many my mom. Shabbos Chukas Bolok Yud B'Stamus. The Rebbe said no. It was Yud B'Stamus. The Rebbe said I showed my Bolok Hayom Yoidos. The next time was Shabbos Re'ei. And then next time was Shabbos for Rosh Hashanah, also a very special minor. Had the Yidden are very connected to the Eibishtes. They add Atem Nitzovim, Roshech, and Hecher and Hecher, very special minor. The Rebbe takes us to Hecher and Hecher. Then Rosh Hashanah was a minor, Shabbos Shuvah, that's it. There was no Maimonim then. Till the famous Matzah Zu, Lelev Chag HaPesach and Hechrim, and Onoiche Avayle Kecha, Shavuos. And then Vayucha Yisova, Shabbos and Goch Machadish Kisov Tinos, and the Rebbe's Magia. All those Maimonim that the Rebbe surprised. There was a Maimer Tenigen, the Maimer Matzah Zu. The Hechrim was Kein Sicher, Onoiche Avayle Kecha was Vitaninig, but the tone was Onoiche Avayle Kecha. We said then after the Maimer Onoiche Avayle Kecha that the next time the Rebbe is going to say Onoiche Amalach HaMoshiach. Sit men gerät jemand. Aber Choloi von 18 Jahren nicht, so Rebbe Mochki told us, what you do something. So then we was a big student for 3 months. The whole Shvat, 2 months actually, 2 months. No, 3 months was a year for 3 months. To learn my Morim, Baal Peh. I was involved then with another Bocher, Yuma Shliach in Beni Tzipel in Utah. We were involved. Sending to yeshivas and became anash. We should learn my morim inside and Baal Peh. And we're asking that the Rebbe soll sagen a minor. Remember once, and we used to get answers, once Rabbi Yomin Klein called me and he says, what's going on? So I said, we're asking the Rebbe to say a minor. So he said, I don't know if he meant it or he didn't mean it. I don't know with Rabbi Klein, he didn't know, because he was one of those maskirim that when Maskirs went into work in Maskirs, he was told by Rabbi Chadukov, you're not allowed to share anything. And not only not allowed to share, you're not allowed to show that you know anything. That is a real Baal Soid. A real Baal Soid is not only that he knows and he keeps it, but he tells us, but I can't tell you. But he doesn't tell you that he knows the secret. Rabbi Klein was like this. So once he called me up and he says, Hirschel, Daigenish. He said, Noch sei my mother. I don't know what he meant it. And Leil Erev Chag HaPesach, the Rebbe was in his room. It was after the oil, after selling the chametz between Mincha and Maigev. Leil Erev Chag HaPesach. And the Rebbe wrote then the Mivrak, the telegram for Pesach. And there was a lot of Heshofas. He said he used to give in the same Mivrak of the same Kvis for previous years. Rabbi Groner used to give, and the Rebbe used to add. The Rebbe added a lot. I remember Rabbi Groner came out of the Rebbe's room and he said, I don't know what's going on. The Rebbe is in a very special mood. Something is going on. And then the Rebbe comes downstairs for Ma'ariv. And after Ma'ariv, he said, if people the standard, maybe it's going to be a sicher. The Rebbe goes to the standard. The Rebbe had already the tichel. And the Rebbe holding the siddur over the tichel. No one realized that. And the Rebbe says, Zok dem nigen. Say the nigen. We forgot. It's his last time the Rebbe said a minor with the nigen. Shabbos Bereshit Tov Shem above. What nigen? Zok dem nigen. Rabbi Groner chapt sich the minor. So right with the minor nigen. And the Rebbe said Matzah Zu. After that, the Nes Godel was that it was Tavshim Tes, Matzah Zu. And the Rebbe was Magir the Minor. The next God was that it was the night of Dikas Chametz. Otherwise, what gewesen verbringen so Rikudim Adoi Aboiker. You couldn't. The Rebbe was dancing afterwards. Was Dikas Chametz. You couldn't. And then when Achish Pesach, the Rebbe said the Hagos from the Rebbe and the Hechim. The Rebbe wrote the Rabbi's name. And the next time was the Maimon Nichabal. I mentioned Rabbi Mochkin. I want to share with you another story before I go. And before I go to Shabbos.
When was the last Maimon? When was the last Maimon?
That the Rebbe said or the Rebbe's Magia?
The Rebbe said.
The last Maimon of Bechlal. Shabbos Chayisora Kinus Hashluchim Tinosa. Yeah. Tavshin Anav. Vayir Chayisora. Yeah.
Kein Sicher was a problem.
Kein Sicher. Yeah. Kein Sicher.
From then on was only Kein Sichers.
No, there was no my mom.
It was not my mom.
From
From Anoichi Avaya Lekecha.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
Last one.
But you said already the Vav was ready to start.
The Tata Nigger. Tata Nigger. Was my Morim, the Tata Nigger. And you should know the Tavshin Nun Beis Chamish Osa B'Shvat was Monday. So Shabbos, before that, the Rebbe spoke already about Chamish Osa B'Shvat. And Sunday morning was a Sicha after davening before Chalukas Dolarim. Sunday night and Monday night, and the Manichim wanted Zinyonim Chamish Osa B'Shvat. They wanted to, maybe it's a minor. So they were prepared. They wanted. So they wrote in the other one of the others that minor Diba Maschil Abor Rosh Hashanim or something with Chamish Osa B'Shvat. Circle, and he took it out. There's many upon him. Before I got, so I was once when I came to Montreal. It's one of the close to 30 years ago. I don't know why we didn't go with the Bach. There was, I remember him, Bob, and Zayn. Had the schus. Rabbi Mochkin came with me in the car. We drove out of Yud Shvat, and it became night. And I'm driving, and I see Rabbi Mochkin's putting on his Yagdil. You know, those days there was no MP3s and no all the electronic. You know what was in the car? Tape recorder. And she said, "What's going on over here?" Rabbi Mochkin's putting the Yagdil. Something. Then he takes out the tape. Hirschel, leg rein. So jetzt Yud Shvat. And he was sitting, and that gave me, that was by me. Yud Shvat comes. Chaim. Conclude, Reb Shmuel, Ma'aseh Neura. To conclude with Shabbos B'Shalach, Chamish Osa B'Shvat, Tov Shemem Zayin. As we mentioned before the Inner Pages, yeah? So then, there was a third year of the Sima Rambam. First Sima Rambam was Yudaf Nisan Tov Shemem Hei. Second Sima Rambam was Shabbos V'Vochim Adar Sheni Tov Shemem Vov. And the third Sima Rambam was Yud Shvat Tov Shemem Zayin. All Mem Zayin. Yeah. All those Hadronim Amugeh, by the way, Tife Hadronim, the one of Tov Shemem Vov, heavy Hadron. With the Secha Amonos Alakus, that's Tutzach dort in Goyse in Yonah. Kapanim, unfortunately, as it says in Tanya Perik Vov, Hin Izelu Mazel Solikim. When there is Kedusha, so it's Klippa again. So there was those from Bnei Brak, not to mention who and how, but you can imagine who they are. They went against Rambam and Rambam. They were very upset, by the way, you should know, that the Misnagdim, Rabbi Groner said it, the Misnagdim, they once wanted to hate from the Misnagdim, called Rabbi Groner and told him, you know, the Rebbe is this, the Rebbe is that, but the Rebbe take away the Rambam from us. Take away the Rambam from us. The Rambam was theirs, the Rebbe said, but what did they do? They took the Rambam only for the Mesechtes that they're learning. Sefer Noshim from Masechta Gittin or Yevamas, those are Lon Yevamas, or Kedusha, Sefer Nizikin for the Bobbers. They did not learn Sefer Amada. They did not learn Sefer Shoftim. So no, the Rambam Frankel came out with the Sefer Amada, Sefer Shoftim, after the Rebbe came out with his Takana. Written the recording. The Mune Bavaye. Kitzi. Say this. Vamuda Chochmes. Rosh Tevis Avaye. To wissen, that he's the only one here. V'chol anitzon shebenem meshamayim lenim shel malnitas imotzoi. Who's he? Is the Eibishter. The Meine Bosel Gan Tov Shidal. That could be someone should say that mitziusoi na'atzmusoi. That could be. Akaponim. So there was the Misnagin. Kitzi. So Shabbos b'Shalach. Chamisha also b'Shvat. The Rebbe spoke about it. The Rebbe put on the table, the Rebbe said, not to be nispor. The Rebbe said, moiridike werte them. The Rebbe said, Chabad is betoich ha'onon. The Shalach talks about the onon, yeah? That the onon was protecting the Eden. Chabad is betoich ha'onon. Sitzt und lernt Chassidus. David. Lernt Nigle. Geht es Mifzoim. Das ist was man sich von euch. And not to be nispol from them. And the Rebbe repeated it again. Chabad is betoich ha'onon. And then the Rebbe said very powerful words. The Rabbeim kuken auf euch. The Rabbeim are looking over you. The Rabbeim schützen euch. By schützen euch, the Rabbeim are protecting you. And the Rabbeim batediken euch. They're overlooking you. You have nothing what to be worried. You're in good hands. You never heard those words from the Rebbe? Not before, not after. We felt like Bonim Atem Avayim. The Rebbe is talking to us like a father to his kids. It was, whoa. I don't know why details of that sikh is me. Then what happened afterwards? The Rebbe did something which he never did before and never did after. On the table, there was payers. There was a bunch of grapes. The Rebbe took a cluster of grapes and the Rebbe threw to his right. The Rebbe took another cluster of grapes and the Rebbe threw to his left. The Rebbe took a cluster of grapes, took to his back, and another one to the front. I was standing in the front. I got a grape. And let me tell you something.
It's on your freezer.
I ate it right away. No one was ready for that. Because if they were ready, there would be who knows what. No one was ready. This is not Chabad, it's Anhoge. It's not the Rebbe. But the Chagas, but the Polish Shabbos, but the Polish mevaft. You throw the tapuch. I'm not making fun of that. It's happening. Everyone was stoned on the places.
So you got your
That was a chelik of that sikha. The Rebbe sharing it as the Abba of the Rebbe to the us, and back, and the Rebbe givofen anovim.
You said no base?
No, Shabbos b'Shalach Chamisha so b'Shvat Tov Shin Mem Zayin. The Eibshter will helfen, like we said in today's Chitas. Ubnei Yisrael Yoitzim B'Yod Rama, and the Targum says Bereish Gli. The Rebbe speaks in the Fabrengen, Yud Shvat of Yud Beis. Bereish is it goes on the Rebbe Rashab and the Friedrich Rebbe, yeah? Rabbi Yitzchok be Reb Sholem, yeah? The Rebbe says, Sicher, Mugad Gesim, Kut Sichas, Chelek Aleph, yeah? And Gli is the Voyom Fusemes. So, Acha Sha'alti, one thing we all waiting for that moment. And as we learned in the Pasha last week at Mosai, enough, 33 years from Tavshin Nun Beis, 30 and a half years from Tavshin Nun Daled, and we should all be ready, as the Rebbe says, Imdoch and Kulchem, mit the Svaduyos, mit the Maimorim, mit the Siches Kodesh, mit the Igos Kodesh, us with our families, and we'll be ready to hear a new Maimor Bosel Legani from the Rebbe, Bigula Amitis Vashleimo Malkein Belishenu Omen Kenerotzim.
Amen.
Yashikoyach.
Shkoyach.
Time is it? Okay, it's 12 o'clock. All right.